in today's session here, we are going to talk about something called as blocks, okay, which is again a very easy topic which we are supposed to understand here. We are supposed to talk about blocks here, okay. What are blocks here? Okay, blocks are a set of instructions used for initialization, okay. So whenever we talk about a method, okay, what is a method? A method is a set of instructions used to perform some specific task. Okay, it's all about a set of instructions or a block of code. Okay, blocks are a set of instructions used for what purpose here? Used for initialization purpose here. Got the clarity here? And there are two types of blocks which we generally come across. What are those? One is called as static block, okay, and other one is called as non-static block here. Okay, there are two types of blocks. What are those two types of blocks here? Static blocks and non-static blocks here. Okay, and then with the help of static block, okay, we can initialize only static variables. Okay, we can initialize only static variables. With the help of non-static blocks, we can initialize static variables also and non-static variables as well. We can initialize both static and non-static. But in real time, okay, we don't, initializing static variables, we generally follow static blocks only. But with the help of non-static blocks, it's possible here, but we generally don't come across it. So static blocks are used to initialize static variables and non-static blocks are used to initialize non-static variables. Is it possible to initialize static variables with the help of non-static block? Possible, but not a good practice. Okay, so this is what we are supposed to understand when we talk about static blocks. Okay, and how do we create a static block? Sir, static keyword, okay, specify static keyword, open curly braces and close curly braces. So this is the syntax of static block. Okay, just open curly braces and close curly braces. This is called as non-static block, meaning a block without any name is called as non-static block. And we also call this as what? Instance block. Okay, what do we call this as? Instance block. Okay, it's up to us, how do we refer it? Okay, all those technical terms here, we can make use of it in the industry here. Okay, what if I have multiple static blocks here? Okay, what if I have multiple static blocks or multiple non-static blocks? Always the execution will happen in a sequential manner. Okay, in a sequential manner, the execution is going to happen. Further clarity. So these are a few things which we are supposed to understand, but let me try to talk about it in detail here. Okay, don't worry about anything here. This is a very easy topic here, which everyone can understand. Okay, now great. So now here, I'll go back to my Eclipse here. First, I'll Eclipse here. Let me create a project first. Okay, let me create a basic project. Under File, let me create a new project. Okay, and the project name is, let me give it as blocks. I give the project name as blocks here. Okay, once I have created a project called as blocks, under that I have to create a package, and I will create a package with any name. You can give any name. I just give the name as JSpiders. Okay, so project name is blocks and the package name is JSpiders. Under JSpiders, let me create a class. Okay, I will create a class and the class name is demo. Okay, and what is it? And the class name is demo here. So I have a beautiful class within my program here. Okay, now done. And now I will have my main method. Okay, and I will have what? I will have my main method. Okay, now see, I have this beautiful main method over here. Okay, so great. Okay, done. So here I will just print the output as hello here. Okay, I'll just print it as hello. So now when I execute my program here, what should be the expected output? Sir, you're just executing a simple Java program. The output shall be hello here, correct? I got the output as hello over here without any problems here. Without any problems, I got the output as hello, correct? Now here, okay, after this entire process over here, what am I supposed to do here? Okay, I will have one static block. See, static keyword, okay, open curly braces, close. This is called as a static block. Okay, what is this called as? This is called as static block. Here I just write it as in, okay, in static block 1 here. Okay, just write it as in static block 1 here. So now here, okay, my execution will always begin from the main method. Agreed. But if there is a static block present in my program, okay, the static block would get executed first, and that is when the control will come to the main method. I told you, right? There is someone called as main method. What he does here, the execution will always begin from main method. But there's a person called as class loader now. Okay, he checks if there are any static properties. If there are any static properties, he has to execute that first. He has to load that first. Since there is a static block, that will get executed even before the main method during class loading time. So now when I execute it over here, just look at just observe the output what I get. Did you see the observe what I got here? I got the output as in static block 1, and that is when we got the output as hello here, because the static blocks will get loaded, before itself, okay, before the main method itself. What if I have multiple static blocks here? Okay, what if I'm having multiple static blocks here? Okay, so see here, if I have multiple static blocks, we'll get the clarity here. Okay, now, so now generally speaking, okay, typically speaking here, the execution should always begin from my main method, correct? And now, okay, during the execution here, there is a person called as class loader. No, what he does, he checks if there is any static properties in my class. Yes, there are multiple static blocks. So what happens here, he has to execute all the static blocks immediately. Okay, but there are multiple static blocks. So he will always execute it in a sequential manner, meaning static block 1, static block 2, static block 3. Once all the static blocks are executed, that is when the control comes to the main method and he is supposed to print hello here. Did I get the expected output here? Yes, I got the expected process here. So this is what we are supposed to understand, the respective content here. Got the clarity here? This is what we are supposed to understand. Got it here? Understood now? Great. Okay, so we got the clarity about this entire process here. Okay, now got it right? Perfect. Now here, after this entire process is done, okay, now this is what we are supposed to understand. But actually speaking, static blocks are used to initialize static variables, correct? But I haven't done any of those, okay, yet I haven't done any of those. So let me create a class and the class name is student. Okay, I'll just have a simple class and that particular class name is student here. Okay, now what I shall do in the student class is just understand. Okay, I will have a variable int age. Okay, yeah, I will not initialize to any value, I'll just declare it. Okay, now is it a static variable or a non-static variable? Sir, it's a non-static variable, sir. Why? Because we have not specified the keyword called as static, right? So therefore I will make use of the keyword called as static. So static int age meaning I have declared a variable called as age, okay, as static variable. And we also know that the default values, if I have not initialized to any value here, the default value will get initialized. So I will have my main method, okay, wherein the execution will always begin from. So I'll tell this out. Okay, what happens here? Static variables have to be accessed with the help of class name or directly within the same class. Correct? So I can directly write it as age or I can write it as student.age. Anything is fine here. Okay. Now here I will execute my program and the execution should always begin from my main method. But if there is any static variables, the class loader will load it immediately. So the class loader will load this age, okay, will load this age equal to 0. Why? Because it's the default value, because the variable is not yet initialized, no, to any explicit value. So the default value 0 will get initialized. So therefore, and after loading, when the control comes to the main method, when I tell student.age here, what will be the respective output here? See, what will be the respective output? It will be 0 here because I'm not yet initialized. So therefore, it will be the output as 0 here. But now what I do, I will make use of a static block. See here, I make use of a static block, static, open curly braces close. And here I will just write it as age equals to 10 here. Okay, age equals to 10. So here I will write it as initializing, okay, initializing age to 10 here. So I'm just writing this particular block here. So here my execution starts from the main method, correct? The execution starts from the main method here. And then, okay, and then here what happens when I execute the program, the class loader, what he does here, he will load the static variable age to 0 first. He will load it within the memory. Then the static block has to get executed. What will happen here? Initializing age to 10 will get executed and that 10 will get stored into variable called as age here. So that's a static variable. You can access static variable with the help of class name or directly with the help of directly within the same class. So you can directly write it as student.age or you can also write it as age. Both will work fine. Okay, both will work fine here. Okay, it's up to your flexibility level here. So 10 will get stored into age. What will be the age now? From 0, it became 10. From 0, it became 10 here. After that, when the control comes to the main method, when I tell student.age, okay, it's a static variable. So what is the age now? It is 10 here. So now when I execute it, just look at the output here. See, initializing age to 10. And what is the age here? 10 here. Got it? If you want to do it in a beautiful way, I can write it as age colon plus here. So now when I print it, what will be the age value over here? Age value is 10 here. Similarly, I will have one more static block. Okay. Here I am initializing to 20 here. Now quickly tell me what will be the output here. Okay. What will be the output sense? Sir, execution will always begin from the main method, sir. But the class loader will load the class static properties first, sir. Then this age will get initialized to the variable. I mean, if the age will get initialized to 0. Then this static block will get executed, sir, because static block also will get executed. So initializing age to 10 here. So what happens? 10 will get stored into age here. So what will be the age now? 10. But we have one more static block. Therefore, even this will get executed. Initializing age to 20, 20 will get stored into age. So here I can directly write it as student.age or else you can directly write it as age equals to 20. However possible you can do it. Now from 10, the age will become to 20. So now when I try to print the age here, look at the output what I get here. Can you see here? I get the output as 20 here. Got it? Similarly, you can avoid this print statements. Okay, you can avoid this print statements. Now what will be the output? First age will be 0, then it will become 10, then it will become 20, and finally when I try to print here, the lastly allocated value, that is 20, so the age will become 20 here. Got it? So this is what we are supposed to understand with the help of static blocks. Got the clarity here? Okay. So now when I go back to the part here, so just I'll explain it in a beautiful manner here. Just look, guys. We are supposed to, we were talking about something called as blocks. Okay. What are blocks here, sir? Blocks are a set of instructions used for initialization perspective. Okay, in order to initialize a variable's data members, we always make use of blocks here. Okay, these blocks are majorly categorized into two types. Okay, these blocks are majorly categorized into how many types? Two types. One is called as static block. What are static blocks? Again, static blocks are a set of instructions used for initializing static variables. Okay, used for initializing what type of variables? Used for initializing static variables. Okay, now got the clarity. Now here, when does the static block get executed? Sir, static blocks will always get executed before main method. Okay, when does the execution happen here? Before main method or during class loading time. Okay, during class loading time or before main method, the static blocks will get executed. Okay, what if I have multiple static blocks? If I have multiple static blocks, always the execution will happen in sequential manner. Got the clarity? So these are the certain points which we are supposed to understand when it comes to static blocks. And how do you define a static block? Static keyword, okay? Static keyword, open curly braces and close curly braces. This is how we are supposed to write or define our static block. Got it? So the only thing, you just need to understand the flow here. Okay. Once we are done with this, we're done with the static block concept here. Okay, which is a very, very simple and an easy concept which we are supposed to understand. Got it? I hope it was a very, very simple concept here. Correct? Similarly, sir, we understood what are static blocks. Correct? So just go back to my top of the screen here. Okay. So just understand what is happening. See, what are blocks here? Blocks are a set of instructions or a block of code used for initialization. There are two types of blocks. What are those? Static blocks and non-static blocks. Correct? And what are static blocks here? Static blocks are a set of instructions used for initializing static variables. Okay, and we know the syntax. And when does the static block gets executed? Before main method or during class loading time. Okay, before main method or the class loading time, the static block will get executed. What if we have multiple static blocks? The execution will happen in a sequential manner. Got it? So this is all about static blocks here. Similarly, we have something called as non-static block. Okay, and what is the job of non-static block? I will show it to you practically as well. Okay, now I will have a class control n and I will have a class called as test class. Okay, now in the test class here, what I do, I will have my main method. Okay, I will have my main method wherein generally the execution will begin from. So I just write it as start. Okay, and I generally write it as end over here. Okay, start and end. So now here, sir, I want to develop a non-static block. See, open curly braces and close. If you just write an empty block, okay, without any name or anything, you just write a block without a name, it is called as instance block or a non-static block. Okay, so now here I'll just write it as sysout, okay, in non-static block 1. Okay, I'm just writing it as in non-static block 1. What will be the expected output? See, when I execute it here, sir, I get only start and end, sir. Why? Execution starts from the main method. Then there is start here, sir, and end here. Correct? If there was a static block, that would have got executed before main method. But when will the non-static block get executed, sir? Only the non-static block gets executed during object creation. Once I create an object, simultaneously, the non-static blocks also will get executed. So now when I execute the program, look at the output what I get here. The non-static blocks will get executed only when we create an object. If I do not create an object, no matter what, the non-static blocks will never get executed. Got it? So start will get executed. Now since I have created an object, simultaneously it checks is there any non-static block. Yes, we do have a non-static block. So non-static block 1 will get executed and then end here. What if I have multiple non-static blocks here? Okay, what if I have multiple non-static blocks here? It's fine. It doesn't matter here. It doesn't matter at all. Okay, so what will happen here? Okay, you have to just understand. See, now what will be the output here? I have multiple non-static blocks. See, main method, start will get executed. Okay, and since I have created an object, the non-static block should also get executed simultaneously. But there are multiple non-static blocks. So when there are multiple non-static blocks, the execution will always happen in a sequential manner. So 1, 2, 3, and once all the non-static block gets executed, the control comes back and end here. So now when I execute it, look at the output what I get here. Okay, it start in non-static block 1, 2, 3, and end here. So this is what we are supposed to understand when it comes to static block and non-static block here. Got it, everyone? Perfect, clear. Now wait, and let me do a few things here. Okay, let me do a few things here. Okay, Control N. I will create a class, and the class name is employee. Okay, what is the class name? And the class name is employee. Okay, now here I will have one variable, int id. Is it a static, int id? Is it a static variable or a non-static variable? Sir, it's a non-static variable, sir, because you have not specified the keyword called as static, sir. Very good. So therefore, I will create an object because it's non-static. Non-static meaning the first thing that should come to your mind is, sir, blindly create an object, sir. Okay, because it's non-static. Employee E equals to new employee of. So here when I try to print, okay, so here when I try to print the ID here, what will be the respective ID? E dot ID. What should be the output? See, sir, when I create an object, okay, the non-static property will get loaded within the memory. But since it is just declared and not initialized, the default value will get allocated. And now when I tell E dot ID, the output should be 0. Why? Because the default value is 0, no, sir. Therefore, the default value will be same here. Got it? Understood the process here. Now, what is happening with this respective content here? Okay, what is happening over here? Now, I will have one non-static block. See, so here I will write it as sys out. Okay, initializing. Okay, initializing ID to 10 here. Okay, initializing ID to 10. So here I'll write ID equals to 10 over here. Okay, now can you quickly tell me what will be the output here? Sir, first of all, okay, see here, what will happen, guys? See, the execution always starts from my main method. There is no static properties at all, so it will never get loaded. So it's all about non-static. So once when I create an object, okay, once when I create an object here, what will happen here? Sir, the ID will get initialized to the default value 0. It will get initialized to the default value 0. And then since we created an object, first what happened? The non-static variable got initialized to 0. And simultaneously, the instance block, the non-static block will get executed, initializing ID to 10. So what happens? This 10 will get stored into the variable called as ID. That will get initialized to 10. After the non-static variable got loaded, the non-static block got loaded here. And when I try to print the ID here, it will always be, 10 here. See, initializing ID to 10 and it is 10 here. Simultaneously, okay? If I try to do this, what will be the expected output now? See, I just write it as 20 and 20 here. So now what happens, sir? Execution begins from main method, sir. Common sense. When I create an object, rule 1, the non-static variable will get loaded. So this ID will get loaded to the default value 0. And then, sir, we have non-static block also, sir. Therefore, this non-static block will get executed. Initializing ID to 10 and the ID will get initialized to 10 here. And do we have one more non-static block? Yes, yes, yes. Therefore, this non-static block will also get executed. So what will be the output? Initializing ID to 10 here, 20 here, and the 20 will get stored into ID. Therefore, now ID from 10, it got initialized to 20. Now all the things have happened once the object also got created. When I tell e.id, what will be the respective output? The respective output will be 20 because the lastly allocated output was 20. So I got the output as 20. So therefore, this is one way of understanding the data. I just remove this print statement, so wherein the ID will get initialized to the respective value called as 20. Very good. Okay, so this is what we are supposed to understand, the working of static and non-static. See, when I go back over here, okay, see, look at the specifications of non-static block. What is non-static block? Non-static block are a set of instructions used for initializing static and non-static. Okay, we can initialize static variables also with the help of non-static block, but it's not a good practice. Okay, static blocks, static variables. Non-static blocks, non-static variables. That's it. But is it possible? Yeah, possible. Okay, now, and then we know the syntax. A block without a name, it's non-static block. And non-static blocks always get executed when? During object creation. And what if I have multiple non-static blocks? Yeah, it will happen in a sequential manner. Okay, so this is what we are supposed to understand when it comes to blocks here. Okay, so now I go back to the perspective here. Okay, I'll just explain the code here. Okay, I'll just explain this representation. See, this is a very, very important question. Okay, generally they'll ask in probably the basic interviews here. Okay, so whenever we talk about block, it's a set of instruction used for initialization. Correct. Static blocks are used to initialize static variables, and this is the particular syntax. And static block gets executed before main method, that is during class loading time. What if I have multiple static blocks? Thus execution will happen in sequence. And what is another type of block? It is non-static block, which can be also called as instance block. And static blocks can be used to initialize static variables also and non-static variables also. We can initialize both static and non-static, but generally we use it for non-static. Okay, and when does the non-static block gets executed? During object creation. During object creation here, simultaneously the non-static blocks will get executed. And the execution, if I have multiple non-static blocks, the execution will always happen in sequential manner. Got the clarity here? Okay, and then how do we write the syntax here? Open curly braces close without any name is called as non-static block. Okay, so this is what we are supposed to understand when it comes to, the respective blocks here. Got it? I hope you got the basic idea about this entire part here. Okay, now here, okay, since we got this clarity here, let me execute a program wherein I can combine both. Okay, I can combine both the things and make sure you'll all understand. Okay, Control N, I will create a class and the class name is car. Okay, I'll create the class name as car. Okay, now, so you have to be very careful now. Okay, so apply common sense and answer. Okay, now apply common sense and then answer. Okay, so here I will create static block. Okay, here I'll just print one. Okay, I'll have one. Okay, so here one non-static block, I'll try to print 2 here. Okay, so now when I execute it, I'll print 3 here. Can you tell me what will be the output? Now it's nice, no? It's tricky, no? Now you have to predict the output. Think and tell me, everyone. Analyze and tell me. Okay, apply common sense. Okay, now output. Tell me. Okay, I got a couple of answers here. Okay, let us see. Okay. Okay, great. Okay, so still many of you have given me wrong answers. Okay, so it's fine here, but apply common sense here. Sir, what is it, sir? My execution will always start from main method, correct? My execution will always start from main method. Perfect. Now, if there is a static block, that will get executed even before main method, correct? Even before the main method, the static block will get executed. Therefore, this static block get executed first, the output will be 1. And then there is non-static block. The non-static block will get executed only when we create an object. Have I created any object? No. Therefore, just main method execution will start. 1 will get executed because it's a static block, and then 3 here. So the output will be 1 and 3. Okay, let us see if I'm getting the same output. Did I get the same output? 1, 3 here? Absolutely yes. Okay. Now here, apply common sense. Got it. Okay. Yeah. Now, so now when I execute the output here, just look here, I get the output as 1, 3, 2. Okay. How do I get it as 1, 3, 2? Sir, the execution will always begin from main method, sir. But if there is a static block, that will get executed first, sir. Therefore, 1 will get executed. Why? Because it's a static block. And static block will get executed even before main method. After the static block is executed, the control comes to main method. So 3 will get printed. And then I have created an object. Therefore, during object creation, the non-static block will get executed. Therefore, the output will be 1, 3, 2 here. Okay. What if I create an object first? What if I create an object first and print later? So you would have you will be able to predict it now, correct? It will be 1, 2, 3. Common sense now, sir. The execution starts from main method because if we have a static block that will get executed first, 1 will get executed. I created an object, simultaneously the non-static block 2 will get executed, and then finally 3 here. Got the clarity, guys? So this is what we are supposed to understand when it comes to static and non-static. Okay. Now here I'll have a class. Okay, and imagine that is I'll just take the class name as I'll just write it as pen. Okay. Now here, sir, I will write one print statement here, system.out.println. Okay, println, I'll just write it as hi. It's giving an error, huge error. Why? Because print statement can never ever be returned directly within a class, because internally there is something called as has a relationship, all those things. Okay, always understand the print statement can never ever be returned directly within a class. Okay, so therefore we should always have a block in order to write the print statement. So you should at least have a main method to write it, or you should at least have a block to write it. Okay, at least you should have a static block to write it here. Okay, now, so this is the syntax. We cannot have the print statement directly written inside a class. We cannot do it, but we need to have some set of blocks here. Within that only we can write the print statement directly. No matter what, we cannot write it. Got the clarity here? See, if I just write print statement over here, it will just give an error. See, it's just giving an error. Why? Print statement can never ever be written inside a class directly. There should be a block, only then it can be written. Clear? That's a common sense question. Yeah, very good question. Yeah, great, guys. Now I'll do one more similar type of program here. Okay, so you have to just understand one thing, int x equals to 10. Okay, so now it's fun. Okay, it's fun here, which you need to understand. Okay, I know majority of you will go wrong again here. Okay, so here I will tell you, don't worry, I will tell you here. I will have my main method and I'll tell x here, x equals to 30. Right, guys? Okay, what will be the output? Tricky, no? That's why I gave. That's why I have written it. It's tricky, I know. That's why. Tell me, what will be the output? There's only one print statement. Okay, I'll give you the hint. It has to be either 10, 20, or 30. Out of these three, one output you'll get. Okay, 10, 20, 30. Okay, you'll get only one output. Is it 10 or 20 or 30? Okay. See here. When I execute it here, okay, I got the output as 20. Oh my God, how are you surprised? I'll tell you, sir. When you execute the program, the static variable will get loaded. Therefore, the x will get initialized to what? It will get initialized to 10. Correct? And simultaneously, the static block also will get executed. So x value will become 20. So from 10, it became 20. Got the clarity here? That's it. After that, the control comes x value. What is x value? 20. It's a static variable. I can access it directly. But sir, the non-static block did not get executed yet. Why? Because I have not created an object yet. That's the reason. So therefore, when I create an object, okay, so what should be the output now? Okay, great. See, now when I execute it over here, I get the output as 30. Why, sir? I will tell you. See, first when I create an, the execution starts from main method. When I create an object of pen here, sorry. When I create, the execution starts from main method. The static variable x will get loaded to 10, and then the static block x equals to 20, and then the control comes back. I have created an object of pen. Therefore, the non-static block, see, non-static blocks can also initialize static variables. So 30 will get initialized into x here. So therefore, what will happen? 30 will get printed. Now when I try to print x here, what is the lastly allocated value? It is 30. So therefore, I will get the output as 30 here. Clear? I hope you all got the clarity about what is static and what is non-static. Okay, so this is all about the entire process, guys. I hope you all got the clarity about what is static blocks and what is non-static blocks. So this is very simple concept here. Okay, blocks are used for initialization. Static blocks used for initializing static variables. Non-static block used for initializing non-static variables. Okay, and can we have multiple static and non-static blocks? Yes. Execution happens in sequential manner. Static blocks will get executed before main method during class loading time. Non-static block during object creation. This is all about blocks. Clear?